Why and how middle class is essential for democracy?
The middle class is often considered essential for the functioning of a healthy democracy because it can provide a stabilizing force within society. In a democratic system, the middle class is often seen as having a moderate amount of economic and political power, which can help to balance the interests of different groups and prevent the concentration of power in the hands of a small elite. One reason the middle class is important for democracy is that it can provide a counterbalance to the influence of the wealthy elite. If a society has a large and vibrant middle class, it is less likely that the wealthy will be able to dominate the political process and shape policy in their own interests. Instead, the middle class can act as a check on the power of the wealthy and help to ensure that the needs and concerns of a broader range of citizens are represented. The middle class is also important for democracy because it can foster social and political stability. In a society with a large and prosperous middle class, people are more likely to feel that they have a stake in the system and are more likely to support democratic institutions. This can help to create a more cohesive and stable society, which is essential for the functioning of a healthy democracy. Finally, the middle class can help to promote economic growth and development, which can be beneficial for democracy. When the middle class is prosperous and growing, it can stimulate demand for goods and services, which can drive economic growth. This can lead to a virtuous cycle of prosperity and stability, which can further strengthen democratic institutions.
It is possible to argue that the middle class is not necessarily essential for the functioning of a healthy democracy. Some may argue that a strong democracy can exist even if the middle class is relatively small or not particularly prosperous. One counter-argument is that the middle class is not a monolithic group with uniform interests and values, and that it is possible for a democratic system to function effectively even if the middle class is divided. For example, some researchers have argued that the middle class in the United States is becoming increasingly polarized along ideological lines, with some segments of the middle class leaning more towards progressive or liberal views and others leaning more towards conservative views. In this case, the middle class may not be acting as a cohesive force that can help to stabilize the political system. Another counter-argument is that the middle class may not always act in the best interests of democracy. Some researchers have argued that the middle class may be more focused on protecting its own economic and social status than on promoting the broader public good. This can lead to policies that are not necessarily in the best interests of the wider society, and may even undermine the principles of democracy. Additionally, some may argue that the concentration of economic and political power in the hands of the middle class can be just as problematic as the concentration of power in the hands of the wealthy elite. In this case, the middle class may become too influential and dominate the political process, leading to a lack of representation for other groups within society. Overall, while the middle class can be an important stabilizing force within a democratic system, it is not necessarily essential for the functioning of a healthy democracy. The strength of a democratic system depends on a variety of factors, including the presence of strong democratic institutions, the rule of law, and the participation of a diverse range of individuals and groups in the political process.